Number is it again? 13, 12?
14.
Y'all ready to go on?
Yep, we already on. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Bring it over back.
Go ahead and start.
What up, Facebook? It's your boy CHOSIN in the building with MS.P, of course.
Hey.
Getting ready for episode 7 of Love Waste Chronicles Pursuit with Purpose. And we're going to go a little different direction this week. We've been really trying to channel in on relationships and your season of singleness and the things you should be doing in that time period to prepare yourself for your Mr. or your Mrs., depending on who you are. But just based on the events of the last 2 weeks in my personal life and Miss P's personal life, we're going to go a little different direction for y'all this week, man. We're going to talk about going through a storm, going through an attack, going through whatever it is you may be going through, and the importance of fellowship in that and allowing people to be there, allowing people to support you and love on you and that sort of thing, because it's vital to your mental health in the midst of that and coming out of it. So with that being said, first and foremost, what I want to do, because I want to say thank you to everybody that's reached out over the last week and some change. In regards to myself, I'm doing better. Still got a ways to go to fully heal and recover from whatever is going on with me. I'll just go ahead and put it out there because there was a lot of people wondering and asking questions. A little over 2 weeks ago, the bottom of my feet started going numb, and it has since traveled up my legs to right below my knees. And so I have been wrestling with that here for about 2 weeks now, of just numbness in my legs and my feet, and it's been kind of affecting me walking. Went to the hospital at one point, and we're still trying to figure out what is going on. So please continue to keep me in your prayers and all of that. But I'm doing better. Of course, I'm doing better because I am here right now. So, but yeah, I'm doing better. Still trying to figure out kind of what's going on. Leave it up to my mama. It's exhaustion from doing too much and stress. And Miss P just whispered she agrees. Y'all know my life. But anyway, either way it goes, I'm doing better. And I'm trying to continue to heal and get better. So continue to keep me lifted in prayer. What's been going on with you, Miss P?
So, it's been 3 weeks now for me. Had a little scare. Went to the doctor and she found 3 lumps in my right breast. I was having breast pains, and so I scheduled an appointment. It took me a month and a half to get in and see her, and she found the 3 lumps. And then I had to go get ultrasound, MRI, and a mammogram. Mammogram, the lady felt them, saw them, and then I had to wait 15 minutes in order to do the ultrasound. And in the midst of that, a good friend of mine, mind you, everybody was praying for me when everything was going on, and a good friend of mine called me when I was in the transitioning between tests and prayed for me. And then the lady came and got me for the ultrasound, and praise God, I'm not gonna shout, but she was totally confused because they could not find the lumps.
Oh, wow.
And so
Praise God.
praise God. I'm not gonna shout. But God is so good. The devil meant it for bad, but God turned it for my favor. Yes, I'm still having pains. I do still have issues where with my right arm where I can't lift it, especially like when I first wake up in the morning. I don't even lay on that arm, but I know that because I am doing His will, that God will fight for me.
Amen.
So pushing
Amen.
through.
Amen. So with that being said, we're going to get into this, the importance of fellowship and allowing people, the people that God has placed around you, to support you and love on you and have your back and your weakness and your times of brokenness and your struggles. I know firsthand for me the past 2 weeks, my initial reaction to everything was to just shut it down. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I didn't know what was going on with me physically. And that's been my reaction to everything. Like, that's just kind of how I came up, was to get through it, to deal with it on my own. It's my body, it's my life. I figure it out, you know. Don't show no vulnerability to nobody, because most people just want to take advantage of it. And it's not healthy, you know. I found myself over the course of the last 2 weeks at points where I was just honestly, and I mean, there was more going on than just what was going on with me physically, but just finding myself at points where I kind of looked at God like, I'd just rather be in heaven with you. Like, I really just don't even want to deal with any of this no more. So, and that's not a healthy place to be mentally.
No.
And there's so many people who are walking around with that mindset on a daily basis that we aren't checking on, and we just assume. It's a quote that goes around all the time on Facebook: check on your strong friends. Mm-hmm. And it's so true. Like, the people that you just expect to be okay, that kind of, they're always okay, that person is strong, they've been through so much. Check on those individuals, because, I mean, we're all human. We all got limits. We all have breaking points. And a lot of times, the people that you think are strong, it's not so much that they're strong per se. It's they don't know how to show that weakness. Mm-hmm. And it's because they don't know how to show it. Sometimes it comes across as strength. So check on your strong your strong friends. Mm-hmm. And if you are one of those individuals that just kind of carries your burdens alone or tries to, start to lean on those that God has placed around you. Mm-hmm. That's what they're there for. We're there to support each other, to lean on each other, to uplift each other. So lean on those people that are around you. A couple years ago, one of my biggest supporters, as far as my music goes and the stuff that I was trying to do in the community, still am. This lady was involved in everything I was doing. She was trying to help me plan stuff. She showed up to everything. About two and a half years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, somewhere in there, she committed suicide. I had no idea she was wrestling with depression. She just involved herself in so much and was doing so much that that was kind of her escape. It kept her from having to deal with her. And so that one hit hard, and it still hits hard for me because, you know, when it first happened, when I first found out about it, you know, first thing went through my mind was, what more could I have done? Did I overlook signs? Was I not paying attention? So if you're one of those individuals who does not like to open up, my inbox is always open. MS.P's inbox is always open. We're here. You know what I'm saying? The people that are around you, lean on them, give them an opportunity to support you, but don't try to carry it on your own. It's not a fun place to be, and it's not a healthy place to be, more importantly, and it can lead you to taking drastic measures at times if you are not careful.
So true. I want to give a shout out to my cousin, Anthony. He's watching.
What up, Anthony?
Thank God for him. Because of him and my cousin Lorenzo and my cousin Keisha, we have a group chat with our cousins. And it's like we touch points every now and then on what we're going through, or even just to send encouragement out. And I didn't have that before. Like, and this is my mom's side, and we wasn't very close, but we're getting closer. And like, I have cousins in New York and Florida, but because of the group chat, they're just a text away. And it has helped me so much not be that island. And which is hard for me, like with the whole breast issue. Like, I didn't want to tell nobody. Like, I was like, whenever I have health issues, I just go through it. And then every now and then, you know, people hear bits and pieces after the fact. But when it happened, I had Bible study that night. And so I walked in, and I was in so much pain where I could not lift my right arm. And shout out to Mom, First Lady. She looked at me, and she was like, what is wrong with you? And when I told her, like, she shut everything down, and Bishop shut everything down to pray for me. And they know that when I tell them I have a health issue, that means, like, it's really, really serious. Because I have health issues that I deal with and don't talk about. But, like, this one, because the devil was whooping my head on, you know, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, was saying stuff like, you know, your boys would be better without you, you know, it's only a matter of time, you're not really doing everything that you used to do, and all this other stuff. And I knew that I had to say something, otherwise he was going to wreak havoc in my mind, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So I had to get out of my comfort zone and say something. And that was the best thing ever, was for me to open my mouth and say something. We have to get to a point where we're not afraid and scared to say that we're not okay.
Yeah. And
that's a big one for me, because I've always been everybody else's backbone, but never had anybody be mine. So I just had this conversation with one of my little sisters, where she was kind of getting mad at me because I didn't do what she felt like I should have done when she was upset. And she started going, I'm not like your other friends that say they're there for you but then walk away. And it kind of opened my eyes to, like, be careful who you call your friends.
Very true.
Because if they your friends, one, they will never throw it up in your face for what they do for you. And you shouldn't have to pat them on the back for doing for you. But two, you should be able to go to them in your time of need. And now you always carrying their burdens, but they never carry yours. Check your circle.
Very important.
Like, and I've gotten to the point where I do that all the time. But then I also have to be careful that I'm not over analyzing too and just cutting people off because I like being alone. So it's a twofold.
Very true.
You are not an island. You need somebody, and somebody needs you. But you got to have discernment on who that person is. And when God, like you said, when God places people in your life, they care about you. Don't misuse them either.
Yep. Very true. I kind of want to take a second to speak to. Let me first put myself out there, because it does me no good to speak to anybody going through something if I don't first relate to where you're at. So, one of my biggest issues with leadership, at times Christian leadership, is sometimes we get too much of an example of the strength
and
none of the weakness. And it makes it unrelatable to the non-believer. Anybody that follows me, that's listened to my music, that knows what my brand is about, that knows me personally, take CHOSIN out for a minute. Take the brand out, take the music out. Anybody that knows Kenny knows how important my relationship with God is to me. And I'm the one that most people come to, yo, can you pray for me? Can you pray with me? That need kind of a word of encouragement to get through whatever the case may be. And I, for the last week and a half, have not wanted to be here. I'm just gonna be 100 about it. My birthday's tomorrow. I'll be 35, and this is the first birthday that I can think of that I have not looked forward to at all. Like, I'm just ready for it to be past, be over with, and move on. Like, that's just where my head has been, and I'm not saying this for attention. I'm not saying this for sympathy. I'm saying it to say that whether you believe, don't believe, it rains on the sinner just like the saint. You know what I'm saying? The struggle hits everybody, and so I don't care how saved you think somebody is, or how well you think they're doing. It does not exclude them from hardship, hard times, from questioning everything. I've been questioning everything the last week and a half. Like, I've really been in some different spaces mentally over the last week and a half, and so I'm saying that to say that I understand it because I live it. Depression is something that I have wrestled with my whole life.
It's so real.
And, I've prayed and prayed and prayed and had people pray for me, and it's still there, So a lot of people feel like, well, I must not be doing something right if I pray and then it's not going. Like, there's some battles that the first time you pray about, the second time you pray about, that battle may still be there.
But God will change you for the better.
Exactly. He'll change you through that battle. So first off, let me say I understand it. I understand it because I'm right there with you, in that same war with you, in that same space with you. And it really took people almost forcing me out of the space of shutting down, forcing me out of the space of holding it in, forcing me out of the space of isolating myself to start to come out of that place. And last night, for instance, was a rough night. I spent 3 hours with headphones on, listening to music, ignoring phone calls, not responding to text messages. And this was just less than 24 hours ago. So I can't say that I'm just necessarily out of that place. I have my good moments and I have my not so good moments. But it's a fight that I continue to fight, and I continue to try to push through. So you're not alone in that, and you don't realize how many people are walking through that with you, that are going through the same thing. Sometimes we get this false reality of looking at people's Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever the case may be and feel like their life is completely together and they're just living it up because of pictures and videos and stuff like that we see. And really, as soon as they log off social media, they're broken. So a lot of times we feel like we're alone, or we feel like we're not where we're supposed to be because we compare where we are to where we think somebody else is based off of an image that they're putting out or portraying. And so whatever your struggle is, you're not alone in that struggle. The same guy that gets up and performs and sells shirts and prays with people and prays for people and goes out and speaks and preaches at times and all that same individual is the same one that finds himself in some very lonely, empty, broken places, praying and contemplating a lot of stuff. So you're not alone in that, and find a healthy person. Everybody needs to establish where their safe place is. Where is it you can be safe? To be completely vulnerable, to be naked. And what I mean by naked isn't a physical thing, but where you can bear it all, where you can open it all up, because we all need those spaces and places to go where we can be that and it's okay and we get it out. So if you don't have that place, begin praying and asking God to reveal that to you. Where is that place for me? Where can I go? Whether you're in a season where God just wants you to rely on Him, if you're in a season where God wants you, He sends you somebody that you can rely on. Whatever the case may be, find that safe place. And it's essential to your mental health. It's essential to your life to find that safe place. So many of us are walking around in shells on top of shells, on top of shells, on top of walls, on top of guards, and not letting anybody get to the core of who we are because we're afraid of getting hurt or being rejected, or we're ashamed of something on the inside of us, being vulnerable, period. So and I can't speak down to anybody who feels like that, because I get like that, where that's one of the biggest frustrations with some people around me, is that I'm not vulnerable enough. Like, I don't allow myself to get into that space of vulnerability with people, and something I'm working on. It's crazy. I do it in my music, but I feel safe with my music. I don't feel like my music is going to do anything to me, so I can write about it and record it, and then I can get up and I can minister, perform the music, and I feel safe doing that. So establish your safe place, because it's essential to your life, to your mental health. And you know what I'm saying, God is no respecter of person. So he, the same way he has safe place for me, he has safe place for MS.P, he has one for you as well. I'm not some great individual that God is just, let me make sure you're safe. Like, all you have to do is ask. Go to him and ask him to reveal and show it to you. So but make sure that you take care of yourself from a mental perspective, mental health, emotionally. And the other part to that is, and I can speak to this as well, those of us that are healers, that are, we have a healing spirit about us, be very, very, very careful and stay prayed up, because you can empty yourself out to the point where you have nothing left. And it's at that point you'll be attacked, because you're your weakest, you're your most vulnerable. You have to be responsible with the gift that you have, whatever it is. So just be mindful of the fact that you have to make time for you. You have to take time to make sure that you're okay. You have to take time to make sure your head's together, that you're spiritually filled up, charged up, ready to go. We should be operating from overflow. So
as much as you pour out, 2 times more you should be taking in.
So just be aware of kind of where you're at, and there's nothing wrong with saying no. I can't, not right now, maybe later, whatever the case may be. Something else that I'm working on.
Balance and boundaries.
Yeah, balance and boundaries. I just kind of, and I'm the type of person, if I see somebody, they need something, if I got it, you got it. Even if I don't have it to give, you got it. Whether it's my time, my finances, resources, whatever. And, you know, that is backfired on me at times, not necessarily because of the people, but because I found myself so drained that, you know, I can't physically kind of keep going, but then I choose to anyway instead of sitting down, and then you end up like I am now, with numb legs and feet and trying to figure out why. So just take care of yourselves, most importantly, and allow the right people, the people that God has placed around you, allow them to love on you and love you through those difficult times that we go through. It's important, something that I've been working on a lot over the last 2 weeks.
I see it as a kind of a reminder to God to let you know that, hey, you matter. Yeah, you're pouring out, but you matter also, so someone needs to pour into you. You need to take that time and recharge. And like you said, you have to know when to say yes and when to say no, and not feel guilty for saying no. When you have a big heart and you have a heart for God's people, you don't know no. All you know is go.
Yep.
But it comes a point in time where you have to distinguish between those that want the help and those that want the attention, and those that are sent just to drain you. Yep.
And there's a difference. First off, thank you, Catherine. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you for that comment. And then to Anthony, some songs that I listen to uplift me. Mary, Mary, Can't Give Up Now is a huge one. That's one of my go-tos. John P. Key has one. It's him, and I think Hezekiah Walker's on there, and I think it's James Fortune too. It's like a collabo. It's called You Don't Know My Story.
Oh, that's my song.
It's a combination of artists on there. But those two, Ruben Studdard has a song called Restoration. Kirk Franklin's Still in Control. There's a few that I listen to that when I really, really need that. And then honestly, I listen to myself. But like the gift God gave me isn't just for others, but you know, to minister to myself too. So I listen to myself as well.
I have my 5 type.
You have your 5?
I have my 5 type.
What are your 5?
I Need You to Breathe by Ernest Plug. Tell Me Where It Hurts by Fred Hammond. Deliver Me, This Is My Exodus by Donald Lawrence. And then Reckless Love of God. I like the Israel Houghton's version.
I got a couple more. I Need You Now by Smokey Norfolk. He's got that one, and he's got In the Middle. And In the Middle is one of that one right there. He's basically coming from the perspective of God, and he's basically like saying, I seen everything that you've gone through, and I was right there in the middle of all of it. You know what I mean? So I love that one as well.
When I'm feeling like insecure, yeah, I do feel that. I listen to Flaws by Kiki Sheard. That My Flaws. I listen to that. And another one when I'm like kind of feeling broken, I listen to Come On In by Adrian Terry, which is Juanita Bynum's niece.
Cool. I don't think I heard of that one before. Everything else I think I heard of was that one right there. So let me check some of these comments though. Let me see what y'all saying on here. How y'all feeling? Questions that y'all may have. Every year there will always be a fall. Get it? Being in the still is the best place sometimes. The eye of the tornado. Thanks for sharing your energy. Appreciate you, Anthony. That's your uncle, ain't it?
That's my cousin.
Cousin?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, appreciate you, bro.
That's Bree's uncle.
Bree's uncle. Okay. Would you drop your comments, man? If you're going through something, you want prayer, if you just want to speak to what it is you're going through, drop your comments. Like I said, today's show was just basically about the big part for me it was two parts. One, to show the relatability. I don't ever want to get on here or any platform and then just sound like just got it together. Because that's not necessarily the case. Which brings me to another point I wanted to actually talk about today. There's a lot of people out here who are waiting until they quote unquote have it together to go to God.
That's never gonna happen.
And you're never gonna have it together. For somebody that has stood up and preached and led youth and everything else and traveled the country doing music, you're never gonna have it together. I still don't have it together. Don't let that be the reason you hold back. So many. Joyner Lucas has a song called Devil's Work, and he just dropped it this past weekend, I think, and I got a chance to listen to it, and it was interesting because the video, he's in a sanctuary, and he's pouring out to God his frustrations, which a lot of us are afraid to do, and it's like God wants you to bring all that anyway. He already knows you're thinking and feeling it, but he's basically like... he's frustrated because he's questioning like why God is moving the way he is. He feels like God isn't protecting us enough. And, you know, he's like, you know, you took this person and this person, but then this person's still here. And you took this person, but then this person's still here. And you're allowing this to happen, but we need this. And so but in the midst of it, he's like, I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying, question you. I just really want to hear back from you. I want to understand why you're allowing these things to happen and why things are the way they are. And then at the end of the song, she says, but I would be foolish to blame you for what's happening. I know it's the devil's work. And so, but I respect Joyner Lucas so much because he was so transparent with that song, where so many times when we think of a Christian song, we think of, especially Christian hip hop, we think of this grateful praise.
What Christian hip hop you be listening to?
A lot of it is that. I haven't heard any that were that in depth with as far as almost like challenging God for an answer. Like, why are you letting this happen? And for Joyner Lucas to do, I have a lot of respect for the way that he did it, because it was respectful. It wasn't. He wasn't in there doing cussing and all the rest of that. Like, it was respectful how he did it, but it was honest.
Have you ever heard of NF?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, NF is my guy.
I love him.
NF is my guy.
Yeah.
He's dope. But yeah, if you haven't had a chance to check out Devil's Work by Joyner Lucas, check it out. He's a secular artist, but that song, and he's got other tracks. Like, he's got one called I'm Not Racist, where he wrote the whole song. He wrote the first half of the song is a Caucasian guy talking to a black guy. And the second half of the song is basically the black guy responding to everything. And at the very end of the video, they hug it out. But it put a lot of stuff that's understood but not said on the table. So Joyner Lucas he's extremely intelligent and gifted, and I really respect the way that he's using his gift. But I wanted to bring up Devil's work because there's a lot of people that are kind of on the fence when it comes to God because of things that have happened in their lives. People that they've lost. I know one person in particular who's been through a lot. I'm not going to go into details, but they've been through a lot to the point that they're like, as a kid, God, you didn't protect me.
Mm-hmm.
You allowed all this stuff to happen to me, and now I don't know how I'm supposed to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a valid place to be. Like, if I understand it from my own personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the healthiest places to be in your walk is a place where you're questioning. Because your relationship with God is going to be developed on truth at that point. It's not going to be developed on what somebody else told you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be developed on what you've heard. It's going to be developed on your individual time with God and you questioning and wanting answers and wanting explanation. Like, it leads you to seek out those things.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's nothing wrong with being in that place. I want to reiterate that. There's nothing wrong with being in that place when it comes to God. Don't be ashamed of that place. So many people tell you, you don't ever question God. You don't ever do this. You don't. And it takes people out of having an authentic relationship with God, and it takes more of a, I'll just accept whatever I hear, and that's just
not
what
a
truth
relationship.
is. Exactly.
It's just like how us as humans have a relationship with other people. At some point in time, like, you question a person you have, like, why did you do that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it should be the same way with God, but do it in a respectful way. But you can still have that dialogue with God, because He has no problem having that dialogue with you.
No
He
problem
wants
at
to
all.
have that dialogue with you.
Exactly.
Because He wants you to know Him beyond the Bible. Like, He wants you to know Him and not know of Him.
Yep.
Like, I could know of Kenny, but until I spend time and talk to Kenny, then I will know Kenny. A lot of people know of God, but don't know God.
Exactly.
Because God don't always move the same way.
Yeah.
When you first start your relationship with Him, He kind of treats you like a baby. So He's constantly reassuring you with things. But then when you become seasoned, yeah, you will pray and He will move right then and there. But now that I'm a seasoned Christian, I pray now, it might be 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years for that certain thing.
Yep.
But in the midst of that, He's working on me so that when He does deliver the answer, I'll be able to handle and take it.
Appreciate you, Anthony. Keep the frequency alive for listeners and future listeners. I love y'all and extremely proud of your efforts to voice the uncomfortable and comfortable. Respect. Appreciate you. That means a whole lot. Appreciate you, man. Love you too.
But that's the thing, like, we live in a generation that you have to be transparent. We don't live off of that, oh, just go sit somewhere and pray. No, if you said you've been through what I've been through, how did you overcome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you know how people want to whitewash it. Oh, I prayed and and eventually God. But what did you do in between you praying and God answering?
Yep.
How did you keep the faith? How did you keep walking with God until He answered?
Yep. And how did you handle a no? How did you handle when you had a loved one in the hospital and you prayed for healing and instead they passed away? How did you handle that?
Exactly.
How do you get through that? You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of topics that's like sometimes, and this is one of the things I don't like, sometimes we're almost taught that, it's almost taught in a way that if we pray for something and it doesn't happen, we didn't ask with enough faith.
But see, that's the thing, though. So when we pray, we're praying for whatever. But we have to remember, God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So with him, he looks at every avenue on one, how to get that person saved, and two, are they going to benefit being on earth or being with him in heaven? A lot of people. So, and we have to, and I had to, I'm gonna say me, put it on me. I had to stop being selfish when it comes to loved ones that are sick, because we don't know how badly they're in pain or how badly they're praying for God to take them.
True.
Because just like you were thinking about it this past week, I talked to you how many times and didn't know?
Yep.
But I thank God for his spirit, because with me not even knowing you well enough, God still put you on my mind for me to pray for you.
Appreciate that.
But that's where it comes. We never know what God's intention for people are. With us being in our flesh, a lot of times we want to keep them people.
Yep.
But is it helping them or hurting them in the end? So that's why when I pray, when I have sick loved ones, I have one now, and he's battling cancer.
Me too.
And my flesh wants to say, God, keep him here. But my spirit is, let your will be done in his life. If you want to keep him here and use that as a testimony, or you want to make him, either you make him whole on this side or on the other side. But either way, he's going to be whole.
Everything we go through is to get us to a Jesus in the garden place. If there's a way to let this cup pass, so be it, Father.
But
if not my will, but thy will be done. That is a tough place to get to. It's easy in theory to say that and be like, yeah, I want God's will. But one of my best friends, Jason, came to me one day, and the question was so profound it threw me off. He said, bro, what if God asked you to be the nail? And I sat back like, what if he asked me to be the nail? He said, yeah, what if you weren't the hammer, you were the nail?
Could you take it?
Could you take it? And I had to sit back and really think about it. Like, would I say, God, your will be done if he said, I want you to be the nail? Like, your whole life, I just want you to be beat on. That's it. There's purpose in it. Because once that nail is into the foundation or whatever it is, that nail is without that nail, everything crumbles. It's not seen. It doesn't get any glory. It's beaten into place. But once it's there, the necessity of it is unquestionable. It holds everything together. So, what if God said, I want you to be the nail? That is my purpose for you. And whatever the nail symbolizes in your life, whether it's with your family, friends, whatever. What if God said, I want you to be the nail? Would you say, Lord, your will then? Like, it's easy if we see, like, everybody wants the glory, but nobody wants the pain. Everybody wants to be exalted, but nobody wants the process of exaltation. To whom much is given, much is required. So, those people that you see that you feel like, I have this song called Whole Lot, where I'm talking about, you see the movies and the albums and the clothes, and you see all that. But there's a whole lot that you didn't see, that you don't see on a daily basis that I go through. Like, the content for the music that you hear, it comes from a place. I had to go through some things to be able to write about those things. When I write about I am, and I'm saying, am I the man God envisioned when he molded myself? I learned the truth about my strength on my knees as I knelt. I had to be in a broken place to understand the strength that God had placed in me. Without being in that broken place first, I would have never understood the strength that he gave me. And it was on my knees and my brokenness that I understood it, that I got it. So a lot of times we see people in certain places, or we see people achieving certain things, and we want the glory, the exaltation. We want the eyes on us. We want to be seen.
But you don't know their story.
You don't know the story and the brokenness that led them to that platform, to that place. So, just be aware that there's always another side to that coin. To whom much is given, much is required. With great power comes great responsibility.
And great sacrifice.
And great sacrifice. The sacrifice that comes with it. You know, y'all know how many nights I get 2-3 hours of sleep because I'm up working on this or working on that or praying or, you know, just consumed in so much that I can't sleep. You know, God has opened plenty of doors for me, but he's also placed plenty of people around me that I'm responsible for, that he trusts me with, to be there to support, to help, you know, take care of and that sort of thing. And that's draining and tiring as well. So, you know, and there's plenty of people like that. You know, we see people in certain positions or doing certain things, but there's a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes we don't see. So just like I said, it kind of goes back to check on your strong friends. Check on the people that you feel like got it together, super strong. They're always okay, because they ain't always okay. I've been waking up, like I said, for the past 2 weeks every day, numbness in the nerves from my knees down to the bottom of my feet, and we're still trying to figure out what's going on. And it's humbling because somebody that loves to go to the gym and loves to run, my stubborn butt was outside trying to run yesterday. And like the sensation shooting up my legs, I couldn't take. I had to stop, you know. And so, you know, I'm trying to sit down somewhere, but sitting down don't quite work for me. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's a hard position to be in. Nobody will see that, see me outside trying to run, and I can't physically do it.
Or the sleepless night, the night that you crying because of whatever. Like, people don't see that. Yeah. Like, they see us as confident and we all got it together.
Yep.
And that far from the truth.
I ain't got it all together.
I don't have it all together, and depending on what day you may catch me, my confidence level is like, and then some days I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I mean, but it all comes down to, I know that God has a greater purpose beyond me, and that I know people are attached to me. So therefore, I can't slack. I can't worry about my feelings. I can't, to a point, worry about me. Yeah, take care of my health, but I can't be sitting in the house depressed over something that happened to me. Like, I don't have that luxury of woe is me or pity parties. I don't.
I tell people that all the time. Kenny, you need to sit down. You need to. I can't right now. I physically I can't. I don't have a choice. I gotta trust God, and I gotta keep going. I sat down for a couple of days. Literally, I sat down in a bed in a hospital. But I sat down, and I ain't like it, and I couldn't. I was frustrated, and I'm like, I got so much I still have to get done. Stuff I gotta do. I gotta keep going. I got people relying on and depending on me.
But you also use wisdom.
Say what?
You gotta use wisdom.
I did use wisdom. Wisdom got me up out the bed and got me pushing. That was wisdom right there. Wisdom is what got me here today. Because there was a few people that didn't want me to do this today. That wanted me in the bed with my feet up. Didn't want me to go to work today. Wisdom said, boy, if you want to enjoy where you live and keep paying that rent and you want food to eat, you better go to work. And trust me with
the Bible says a man that doesn't work doesn't eat.
A man that don't work don't eat. He didn't say a man with numb legs and feet don't eat. He said a man that don't work don't eat. So that means you push through, and I got you.
I went 3 days last week. I worked 3 10-hour days. Well, total of 5 10-hour days. But 3 of them days, like, I couldn't, like, raise my arm up, and I was sitting at my desk like this, doing my work, 10 hours.
So,
because when you are single, like, your bills don't stop when you get sick. And when you have kids, they still need stuff.
I don't have those. But I got 3 god kids, basically mine. Cause
you have to, at a point, keep moving. Because otherwise, like, I don't want to be homeless. I like, you know, laying in my bed, and I like the lights, the gas, the water, and the food. Like, I like that stuff.
Side note, real quick, I have to do this. My goddaughter's going to kill me if I don't. Shout out to the Mystic Storms dance team that went to St. Louis this weekend. I couldn't be there because I was resting like I've been asked to do. So I didn't go to St. Louis, but the Mystic Storms dance team, which took first place overall, took first place in I think 4 of the 5 categories, and then first place were grand champions, first place overall. My goddaughter Dariah Richardson dances for them. Shout out to Sherelle, Coach Sherelle, for getting the team ready. So shout out to the Mystic Storms. Good job in St. Louis this weekend. I'm so proud of y'all. Wish I could have been there to see it. I got a chance to see all the videos from it yesterday, and y'all did an amazing job, girls, young ladies. I'm so proud of y'all. Raya, you know I'm proud of you. Shout out to my goddaughter who is graduating from high school Monday. I'm so proud of you, T. And Marvon, I'm proud of you, sir, and the moves that you're making. Can't wait to see the project you're working on. I ain't going to spoil it and put it out there. But I wanted to shout those 3 out, man. I'm so proud of them. They have, all 3 of them have turned into amazing young people. And y'all are my strength on days that y'all don't realize it. When I don't feel like continuing to push and keep going, I think about you 3. I know that you watch me. I know that, you know, I know the impact that I have in your lives. And y'all push and motivate me more than you realize and inspire me more than you realize. So thank you for being 3 amazing young people. Thank you for loving me. I love y'all. Yeah, I just want to take time to shout y'all out, man, because y'all are...
So, Candy, CHOSIN, what's going on this weekend? What you got going on this weekend? It's Mother's Day weekend. What you got going on?
Surprise for my mama that I can't really say because I think she watching.
Is that it?
This weekend coming up. What's this weekend?
Mother's Day weekend.
Outside of that, is there something else?
Is there something that you're doing or supposed to be doing?
This weekend?
Yeah.
I feel like there's supposed to be something I'm supposed to be doing, and I can't think of what I'm supposed to be doing.
I thought it was like a tribute or something like that was supposed to be going on for the mothers, like something's supposed to be dropping.
Oh! How you remember that and I didn't? Ladies.
Because I'm amazing like that.
Ladies.
And I'm a mom, so like when you said mom, like I remember mom stuff.
I have a special project dropping this weekend that I forgot about.
Well, Miss P remembered.
Miss P did remember. Dedication to my queens drops this weekend. Dedicated to you all for the sacrifice and hard work that you ladies put in to help raise us into who we are, to love us as men, to raise the kids, to make our houses homes. We would be nowhere and have nothing without you. Life literally comes through your womb. So thank you so much for your effort, your sacrifice, your dedication to us. And this is a little something to hopefully show our appreciation, show my appreciation for everything that you all do, because without you, we'd be lost. I know I would be without my mom and my godmother and my older sisters and my cousin and
your female friends and
female friends. Like, there's just so many people, women who've been influential in my life. I just wanted to do something to say thank you to you all for what you do, how you are. It's your love that gets us through, and it's recognized and it's most definitely appreciated. So thank you, ladies. I had that dropping this weekend. The first single from it is called You're the One. I'm re-releasing it featuring Chevy M, also known as Chevy McGee. We're re-releasing that track. It's called You're the One. And it's just a dedication to y'all for what you do, who you are. So thank you for all that you do, for who you are, for loving us, for supporting us, for having our backs. We'd be nothing and have nothing without you. So yeah. Thank you for reminding me that my project drops this weekend. So, okay, in my defense, I had taken care of everything necessary for it to drop, so I was done with it. Mm-hmm. And so because I haven't had my hands on it, and then, of course, we know what happened here over the last 2 weeks, I really kind of been in a different headspace. I completely forgot about it, and I do apologize. So yeah, and then I have a surprise for my mom coming up this weekend, that's my heartbeat right there. That lady sacrificed and done so much for me. I don't know where I'd be without her. even though she still be threatening to hit me with baseball bats and stuff. But, you know, can't call DFS. I'm a little too old. So I'm going to just have to take it on the chin.
I love her.
She's really? Because she tries to hit me with bats?
No. Let's no, because I know how it, with me raising my boys, and I know how it is with stubborn boys.
Who's stubborn? I'm not stubborn at all. I'm the epitome of not being stubborn.
Really? Did she not force you to go to the hospital?
I mean, we ain't got to talk about all that right now.
Okay. I'm just saying that's real mother love.
I mean,
So
she might have been on my head about that a little bit, somewhat, a lot. Kind of the reason I went, but I mean, that's, you know,
you her baby. She always gonna be Mama Bear.
She is. I'm like, Mama, I'm twice your size and weight. Like, you gotta.
That don't mean nothing.
Mean everything.
Don't mean nothing.
I mean,
we can find something that can knock you down to our size.
Clearly, she got a bat.
Love it.
Love you, Mama. With that being said, we getting ready to wrap up, man. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Appreciate you for your comments, for your prayers, for your support. Keep tuning in. Regardless of how my body feels, regardless of how MS.P feels, we gonna be back. No, we won't be back next week, actually.
Right.
I have to go to my goddaughter's high school graduation next Monday, which she would come up here and fight me if I didn't make it, and I don't really want y'all to see me get beat up by a 17-year-old. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the graduation. Congrats to everybody graduating from Grandview High School coming up this Monday. Good job. Clap it up for y'all and all the graduates around the city. It's that time of year. So we will be back in 2 weeks. Actually, hold on. Ms. P, you gonna do it by yourself next week?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna be back in 2 weeks. And we're gonna do part 2 of this. We'll have special guests for you. That'll give you an opportunity to kind of think about some questions you have, topics you want us to cover. As always.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Mom, Miss P was bullying me today. So I would really appreciate it if
my mom knows I'm not a bully.
You would talk to her because she hurt my feelings. I'm hurting right now. But anyway, with that being said, we will be back in 2 weeks with part 2. We'll have some special guests for you. As always, as you're watching this, leave your comments, questions, concern in the comments section down below.
Right.
Hit us up in our inbox, whatever it is. Reach out to us. Do not go through your struggle alone. Do not try to force yourself to deal with everything alone. God is always there. God has sent you help. Don't ever forget that. Chosen MS.P. We love y'all. Be safe. Love God. Love people. Peace.